I'm here to catalyze global ascension. I want to vlog about sex versus Tantra. I wanted to already do it last week. I'm here for over a week. I'm actually house sitting in Ibiza in this beautiful, amazing villa of very close friends of mine. And yeah, I just needed a break, and now I feel ready. Energies are very high, very intense, and it feels like the right moment to speak about this. Because energies around sex or around Tantra, they are very charged. Like in our society, the word sex, for example, is already very charged. So the word sex, I've looked it up, it's Latin for sexus, which means division. Isn't that interesting? And the word Tantra, it's a Sanskrit word for two different words. One is Tanoti, which means to expand, and the other one is Trayati, which means liberation. So Tantra by itself in the Sanskrit words means to expand and liberation. So why is it so charged in our society? In a way, our society has been programmed. So we carry within us, in our DNA, in our bodies, in our cultures, in our countries, in our families, a karma or a program, many programs that actually keep us from remembering who we really are. And we took on all these programs, so there's no victims here. We decided to take on all these programs to decide to wake up at a certain point, which is for a lot of people on the planet right now. So some of these programs, a lot of them actually, are about enslavement around our sexual energy. So for example, just to call one example, is that a lot of religions, what they would do is they would, for example, let's take the Christian religion, yeah? So you would have, for example, churches, let's put 70 sexually suppressed nuns or monk in a church, where they transform the sexual suppression into prayers or into meditation or things that they would be doing, then this energy would be harvested for these types of beings that actually have put these programs into our, bodies and cultures. So I don't want to go too deeply into it. You can just Google this stuff and just do your own research. I'm just using this as an example to show you that many programs are hidden into our bodies, which come out, for example, when we fall in love. For example, why do we call it falling in love, right? So when we fall in love, we're programmed also through all the Disney movies and romantic little books that we, let the children read, where the prince on the white horse comes and saves the girl and saves, it's like so many layers of programs that it's kind of hard to go into it for just like a little vlog of 15 minutes. I've personally done a few times this beautiful course of Anilia Bent, which is called the Sex, Love and Soulmates course, that really, really opened my eyes since like 3 years, I think, 3-4 years that I've done a few times this course. I'll put you a link as a comment under this video, so you can look it up for yourself, which goes way deeper into all these programs around falling in love and the urge to find the one. I think the only thing I really wanted to really go into is these programs where we are like sexually enslaved, meaning our genitals are on our power centers. So you have your root chakra all the way down, and then above the root chakra you have your Hara, which is just below the navel. And these two centers, and also, of course, your solar plexus and all the other centers, but these centers that are around your genitals are very, very, very powerful. We have so much energy there. The thing is that we are programmed or limited to believe that once these centers start to work or they start to be activated, we are programmed to believe it's all about sex. That's why now if you open the television, there's, MTV or whatever, you see so much insinuations towards sex in such a harsh, such a separative way of, for example, love. Like the link in between sex and love nowadays is very hard to find. That's why, for example, the seduction game that so many people play, and I don't have any judgment on it. I've been playing the seduction game myself, just, you know, ask my husband. But that's why, for example, people playing the seduction game, it stays so shallow, because sex is like, now in our society, it's like a substitute for love. It's like when you have sex, you kind of feel in love, you kind of have this feeling of being in love, and it's like a substitute for love. So it feels like love, it looks like love, but it's not the same as love when your heart is not opened towards this other people, which mostly in seduction games it's not really the case. Seduction games, it's more about how do you look. And the ego hijacks actually the bodies and just goes for the, you know, the sex game. And so it's not that sex is bad or something, it's just that when it's only about sex and the ego is very much involved and hijacks the bodies and the persons, then it's a very empty, and actually it leaves the people empty. So for example, the seduction game is all about like separation, really, and about desperation. People are very desperate. They don't realize that they do the seduction game, they change partner every weekend or every month or whatever, but what they're really asking for is love, to be loved, really, and to become one with the universe. That's why also people are so much looking for this type of orgasms, yeah? And as I said, my next vlog will be more about orgasms, so we'll go more deeply into that. For now, I just want to keep it on the fact that the urge for sexual pleasure, mostly for most people, is combined with the urge for sexual intercourse. And when you really look into it, you really look at the basics of what sexual intercourse is about, it's about making babies. It's another program where we as humans are supposed to multiply, how do you say that, anyway, become more and more humans on the planet, yeah? So how is it that so little people actually use that sexual energy, that urge, you know, for sexual pleasure or urge for sexual intercourse, use it for themselves or for healing or for magic or for manifestation? Because you could use that energy to bring it through your chakras and at this moment really work things out. Like, for example, this is one of the ways that you can use Tantra. Now we're getting more into the Tantra. The Tantra, what it does is that it uses the sexual energy and makes it move up through your chakras. And by making it moving up through your chakras, what it actually does is it's expanding your consciousness. So instead of that it keeps on staying in your lower chakras, you're actually making it move through your solar plexus, through your heart, through your throat, through your head, and then up, and then, you know, then actually it goes further. Have a look at my vlog, which is called Egyptian Tantra, where I show you this beautiful book and things you can do with the two snakes, you know, around your spine and stuff. But I just want to keep it at the basics now. So Tantra is this, is what it does is it amplifies all your emotional blockages, all the things that need to come out. It amplifies it and it needs to be addressed. That's why Tantra, many people have many definitions of Tantra. And for example, in my workshops we do the Tantra of the heart, which is without a partner. Just a specific form of Tantra. Again, you can look at my vlog called Tantra of the Heart. And what it really does is that it's clearing out all these blockages we have in the body, and we give space to it. So you could see Tantra as a way of life, as, you know, it doesn't always need to be sexually related. Tantra also is, for example, you have white Tantra, you have red Tantra, you have black Tantra. The white Tantra is ancient. This comes from Burn tradition, older than the Tibetan tradition, from Buddhas that were awake more than 13,000 years ago. I mean, the texts are even there, unbroken lineages, where they teach you the Tantra of the Buddhas, which is more like a type of white Tantra, which means that you are meditating and you're working through the light. So you're working with types of light, colors, everything, again, to come into a higher consciousness, or again, to remember who you really are. So I think what we can see as Tantra is that we can see it as a sacred form. Let's go now to the red Tantra. So the red Tantra is using the sexual energy and moving it through the chakras and using it to wake up, to come back into unity consciousness. And so in this way, we can see the sex as a sacred act. And as a sacred act, sacred is, in my definition, sacred is when you come back to yourself. I mean your true self. Not your ego self or your mind self or whatever, or even though, of course, these are important aspects of ourselves, but more to the true self of who you are. And it goes, Tantra goes very much through the body. So the body is also in Ascension, it's our most important tool to ascend. It's our most wise body of all of our bodies, of our spiritual body, our mental body, our emotional body, our ego body, it's the most wise. Our physical body is the most wise one. It can tell you anything related to any experience you have ever had on this planet, on the earth. And it is the one that expresses your being. So, it's the one who swims if you want to swim. It's the one who sings if you want to sing. It's the one who touches the other one if you want to feel the other person. It's your body is the most wise, the most important, the most amazing communication and connection device we have ever had. So Tantra obviously goes through the body. It's grounded within the body, and then it moves on. And it's all about not making any effort. It's like, my last vlog is called Leave It As It Is. It's like that. It's like you relax into yourself. You relax into the one that you really are already. You relax into all these positive qualities that you possess inside. That's basically what it's all about. Basically it's everything. Tantra is not sex. Tantra is life. So I think what I'm trying to get at is that if you want to change, or let's say that you are getting sexually aroused, so you're in this ascension process and you don't know why, but you're starting to feel sexually aroused more than usual. You have the sexual energy. I mean, it's summer now. The energy is high, it's intense. Why don't you try to keep being in this sacred space? Because this is what it's all about. It's like sacred is that you leave all your stuff out, your ego and baggage. You just leave it out. And this is what the urge of this searching the other one is about. A lot of people feel it, the urge to search for the one, or to become one with somebody else, to merge with somebody else. And a lot of people think that we can only reach that oneness with somebody else through sexuality. This is not true. You can, for example, also experience, which we can call like a merging through energy, for example, which is not so much about the sexual act, but energy-wise. So you can look somebody in the eyes and energetically become one with that person. It does not always have to be that the bodies merge, But many of us think, most of us on the planet think, that this is the only way sexual act, that sexual act is the only way to merge with another, because this is basically what the drive is. The drive is, you know, not only, I mean, the drive could be many things. Okay, let's be clear about that. I think that the more you become in the sacred space that I really want to get to now in this vlog, the more you are in the sacred space with yourself, like first of all, you need to reach the sacred space yourself. You cannot go out and believe that your partner will do it for you. You have to reach the sacred space within yourself before you can reach it with somebody else. But the more you reach the sacred space, the more you can make conscious choices. Like you make a conscious choice. I'm just looking how long. Oh wow, it's already 15 minutes. I can't make this too long. So the sacred space is, the more that you reach that sacred space within yourself, the more you can actually choose. You can choose, okay, today I want the sexual pleasure. I want to experience that. And then the next day or another moment you say, I really want to experience the sacred act. I want to experience this mystical experience. And use the energy to clear out things in my body and my being, and my mental and my emotional and my psychological being. And so when you reach the sacred space within you, you can go out, of course. There's no, you know, like rules, there's no limits, there is no... The only thing is that when you are in your sacred space, and from that space you connect to your partner or to somebody, or even with yourself, then in that space you will experience the mystical aspects of sexual energy, and you can do way more with it. Instead of keeping it down into your lower chakras, you can work with it, because those power centers is you. So one of the first things that you can do, that you can use now as an exercise, is that next time you feel arousing coming up, and this is also one of the exercises we do in this course with Anelia Benz. So if this interests you, go get the course, because it's really powerful. Is you stay within your sacred space. So you just sit down anywhere, feeling the sexual arousement, and for 21 days, I know that for some of you this will be hard, especially the men, but for 21 days, no, the women actually, I'm making a joke. We always think that the men are more sexual, but actually it's a women's game. Anyway, let's get into all of that maybe later. The thing is that if for 21 days you can keep that energy with you, yeah, that sacred space, and keep sitting with it, just leave it as it is, just make it and expand it in your body, in your house, in your country, in the whole planet, if you need to really feel the power, your chi, your things, your manifestations, your magic, the things that you can do with this. If you can stay with it for 21 days, I tell you, you're going to be transformed, because you haven't projected it onto anybody. You haven't, given it away to somebody like we usually do. Like we feel sexual and we project it on somebody, so we give it away. So instead of giving our power away, we keep it with us in our sacred space within us, and for 21 days you keep it and see how you've changed. You know, just expand that beautiful sacred energy in your body first of all, and then around you, in your aura, in your house, you know, in the place where you are. And let me know how that was, and next vlog we will go deeper into this. If you want, let me know what type of questions you have, and thank you very much for watching. I love you very much. Namaste.